Hi, I'm Zach, and this is my quiz for trig. Let's start with number one. Sorry, I'm kind of holding the phone because I can't find something to stand it up on, but let's start with number one. 4 sin of x from negative 2 pi to 3 pi. So the amplitude here is in front, so that'd be 4. And there is no vertical shift, which would be a plus number or a minus number. So let's just put 0. And we'll start at 0 because it's sin. So you always start at the 0 instead of the number of the amplitude. Let's mark things first though. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Negative, 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 negative. All right, let's go pi over 2, pi, 3 pi over 2, 2 pi, 2.5 pi, 3 pi. Let's extend that a little bit. All right, and then backwards, because it's right here, it says negative 2 pi. So let's go back. Negative pi over 2, negative, be right here, negative pi, negative 3 pi over 2, 2 pi, negative. All right, so now we're set up to draw our function. So what we want to do is we'll start at 0, put a point there, because remember it's sin. And because it's 4, the maximum is going to be 4, and the minimum's going to be negative 4 due to 0 minus 4 or 0 plus 4 for minimum and maximum. So we'll start here, we'll move forward first, then we'll go backward at the end. So because it's positive, it'll go up first, so we'll start by a 4 right above the pi over 2, then back down to pi, then down to negative 4, then up to 2 pi, then up to 2.5 pi, then down to 3 pi again. And I'm currently doing this without a calculator because I don't own a graphic calculator, but I do have Desmos open if I need help. So we'll go from here and we'll go backwards now. So it'll be negative 4. We'll go up to pi on diagonal line. We'll go up all the way up to 4 again for negative 3 pi over 2. And we'll go back down to 2 pi. Now we're ready to write it in. Let's go like this. Excuse my bad parabolas. Finishing lines, because it never ends. And that's the answer for number 1. Now let's move on to number 2. All right, so number 2 is a little different because we got 5 sin and now we actually do have a vertical shift. So let's put an amplitude of 5 because the 5 up front, and then vertical shift of 6, which means it's ultimately going to start 6 up. So let's write down our numbers quick. And we can tell just by it being 6 up that it's not going to really be negative because look, 6 minus 5 equals 1, which is positive, and then 6 plus 5 is 11. And that would be the min, that would be max. And let's go right here. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 10, 11, because we know that's the max. So our midpoint is going to be 6, so we'll dot that down just in case, because we're moving 6 up. And let's mark our x-axis real quick. So that would be, by the way, it's from 0 to 2 pi, so we can start right here. It'd be pi over 2 pi we'll have 3 pi over 2, then 2 pi. Sorry, it's a little off. There we go. Now we'll start from 6 because that's the vertical shift again. Put a dot there. Then we'll go up to 11 because the amplitude is 5, so we'll be going 5 up, 5 down, and we'll go back to pi. We'll go down to 1 because remember that's the minimum, and we'll go back up to 2 pi. That gives us 1 period. Go there, write it in. Remember, never ends. Same over here. That's function for number 2. Let's flip the page. All right, let's go to number 3. Negative cos of x minus 5. All right, and our degrees will be from 0 to 720 degrees, and that's the equivalent of 2 pi because, oh wait, no, that's the equivalent of 4 pi. It's 360 degrees is 2 pi, sorry about that. Let's write down our numbers real quick. -1, -2, and the reason I'm going down like this is because, again, -5 will bring it all the way 5 down, and because it's only 1, it'd be going to -4 and -6, so minimum of -6, maximum of -4. So let's keep writing. -3, -4, -5, -6. Let's just put -7 just to be safe. All right, now we can write on our x-axis, sorry. Let's put 90 degrees, 180 degrees, 270 degrees? Yeah, 270 degrees, 360 degrees. Go for 50 degrees, and that'll be mental math. 550. Oh, we're gonna have to extend it. Then that brings us 630 degrees, and then 720 degrees. All right, so now that we got our whole graph labeled, oh yeah, real quick, amplitude, -1, vertical shift, oh wait, sorry, amplitude is always absolute, so that would be just 1, and -5. So we'll start at -5 because it's vertical shift 5 down, but I just realized, sorry, kind of thinking on the spot, just realized because it's negative cos, it'll always start below 1. Then we'll move to 90 where it's up. Then at 180, it'll be at 4. Then 270, it'll be back down 1. And then we'll go for 360, back to where it started. Same here, do it again, following the same pattern because it always follows the, it always follows the exact same pattern infinitely. Back down to 720. And I just did that wrong, sorry. It's hard to focus when I'm recording. Sorry about that. All right, back right here to our max right there, then back again right there. Went up a little too much. All right, now I can write it in. Just right there, little curve. There we go, and remember it's infinite. And that's our graph for number 3. Need to find that one a little bit more. There we go. On to number 4. -1/4 cos of x from -2 pi to 2 pi. Amplitude 1/4. Vertical shift 0, doesn't move. And this may look scary because there's a fraction here, but how I think of it is just there's going to be 4 spaces for each fraction. So it'd be 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, and then 1. Then same thing down here, 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, 1, negative, 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 negative. And let's write this in. So that'd be pi over 2, 3, pi, 3 pi over 2. Then we've got 2 pi. Finish it off. Same thing over here, but negative. Pi over 2, pi, go 3 pi over 2, and then 2 pi, negative, 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 negative. There's our graph so far. And we'll start graphing it in. And because it's -4 or -1/4, it'll always start below. Put a dot there. Move it along up. Put it right there, there, there. Same thing backwards. Go. Remember, always continues. There's our our function, sorry. Goes up to 1/4, down to -1/4, because minimum and maximum would be -1/4 as the minimum, and then maximum of 1/4. That follows the same rules. Looks good. All right, on to the next page. All right, convert the following radians to degrees. All right, so how I'm gonna think of this is 1 pi equals 180 degrees. It's gonna be one thing we can remember, hold on to. So 5/3, normally 5/3 would be 1, 2 thirds like that. So it already has 180, and whatever 2/3 of 180 is, we'll add on to 180, and that'll be our answer in degrees. So 180 plus, let's see, what's 2/3? So a 1/3 of 180 is 60. So 60 plus 60, 120. So this should equal 300 degrees. Circle that. Same thing over here. We'll have 2, that'll be 5 1/2 pi. 5 times 180, quick mental math, I believe that's 900. Yeah, it's 900 degrees, because 80 times 5 is 40, or 400, and then 5 times, 900. And then half is 90, half of 180, so 990 degrees. 6 pi, 6 times 180 again, that would be 600, then 480, so 1080 degrees. Which actually, I think is 4 periods, I believe. Is that right? No, 3 periods. All right, let's make sure with this one, just in case. 5 times 180, that equals 500, yep, 400, yep, 900, and then 1/2, okay. Explain how you determine the minimum and the maximum of the function 2 in number 2. So let's go back to number 2. All right, number 2, we have 5 sin x plus 6. All right, I think I already did it over here, but we'll do it again. For here, explain how you determine the minimum and maximum for the function in number 2. Well, to start, you have to, for the minimum, you will subtract the amplitude from the vertical shift. So 6 minus 5 maximum, you will subtract, oh, sorry, not subtract, add amplitude to vertical shift, which will be, so 6 plus 5, or 11. 1 equals min, 11 equals max. Alright, and finally, define a periodic function equation. Alright, so we know that a periodic function follows a pattern. Oops, spelled pattern wrong. Infinitely. Through different amplitudes, vertical shifts, and I can't remember the word right now because I haven't learned much about it, but I'm guessing it's called and horizontal shifts. Alright, so it's a periodic function, follows a pattern infinitely through different amplitudes, vertical shifts, and horizontal shifts that remain the same depending on their function. Alright, so let's take one more look at everything. Number 1, sorry, it's gotta focus. Number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, number 6, and number 7. Thank you. Have a great day.